Good evening and a warm welcome to the All Arsenal Review Show. We finally have an intro that replicas myself and Johnny Brooks at last.
So it's a very sexy picture.
It is a very sexy picture. But thank
you. Were you giving him a piggyback?
Pardon?
Were you giving him a piggyback in that picture?
Yeah, we was at Lord's at the time, so we probably was, mate. It was probably half cut by that point.
That was only in the second over.
Yeah, it's probably the worst day of cricket in the whole Ashes series. So we went to. To be fair.
It was literally the worst day we went to in the whole Ashes
it's a
series.
real shame,
I think we got about 3 wickets, and that was it, weren't it?
Yeah, it wasn't the best. But it was a free ticket though, so it could have been.
Yeah,
worse.
it was a free ticket, and on the journey home, we found out we signed Kai Havertz as well, didn't we?
And we had the mornings. Here we go for Declan Rice and all.
Yeah, so it picked up a little bit on the journey home.
Get yourself back to Lord's, used to.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I got it tomorrow. Yeah.
Anyway, good evening and a warm welcome to our guests who are on tonight. So obviously, I'll first hand over to Brooksy. How you doing, mate? How's your week been?
It's been all right. Thank you for the weather. So I say it's very nice and sunny. It's just been the same old. Really, it's just what could have been. It's a bullseye. Here's what you could have won.
Not every other season, then.
No, it is. Yeah, it's just grinning and bear it, and just just having to roll with the punches and hope for a happier time.
Yeah, there's a lot of punches at the moment. I can tell you that much.
No, there is.
Anyway, good evening to George. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, same as Brooksy, really. I've gone through like all the seasons of the therapy and your mental health with Arsenal. I think I was like gutted after PSG, and then we saw the first half, and I was glad I was blind. And then the second, and then the second half happened, and I was like, yeah, like it's salvageable. And then I was just winding Liverpool fans up. So, like. But yeah, then that's not been like Brooksy said. The weather's been alright, so yeah, fingers crossed. At least I have thought of something, mate. At least we can't lose during the week this week.
No, that's very true.
So it's all about the positive.
Yeah, we can rest.
Exactly. Good evening to Cole. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How you doing?
It's just so sexy, isn't
it? And a good evening to Andy. How you doing, mate?
Bless you, mate.
Evening, guys. Evening.
Good stuff. Right. Obviously, a good evening to the chat already. We've got Scotty in, giving his Arteta out, Marino in.
Glad I can't see that.
Never change, Scotty. Never change, son.
It's bad when you're taking blows from a team at the 17th place, and it is really bad.
They've lost 20 league games.
And they could end up having a better season than us. That's the most important thing about it.
Don't just love football.
Oh, mate. Football's in the mud, mate, isn't it? Football's definitely in the mud. And a good evening to Ian. How you doing, mate? Look forward to seeing you Sunday as well. Anyway, we're going to obviously go into obviously Champions League game last Wednesday first. Obviously, we went to Paris Saint-Germain with a 1-0 deficit. It was a bit of an interesting one, wasn't it? Like, I don't think many people actually were overly confident that we'll go over there and do something, but there was still that feeling that we could go over there. Obviously, our away form was pretty good leading up to it in Europe. When you start thinking that we beat Sporting Lisbon 5-1 away, beat PSV 7-1 away, beat Real Madrid 2-1. So there was definitely an opportunity that we could go and do something. And for the first 20 minutes was probably our best starting performance of the season, if I'm being frankly honest. I thought we was absolutely superb. But the story of the season was that we just didn't take our chances yet again. And obviously it bit us in the arse. I'm going to go over to you, Cole, first on this one. What was your thoughts in terms of the first 20 minutes? Because I was quite surprised how well we played in that first 20 minutes. And in my opinion, if we'd scored... If we'd scored in that first 20 minutes, I think we could have gone on one that game.
Yeah, no, it was. We come out of the blocks flying. It was exactly the same what PSG did against us though in the first kind of 20 minutes. Donnarumma was just fucking on one when he over the two legs, and he was the difference really. Obviously, the Odegaard one, he couldn't fucking hit that ball any cleaner if he tried. And how he saved that, I have no idea. But yeah, it was unlucky. I think, as you say, if we would have got that early goal, I think we would have. I think they might. I don't think they would have crumbled as such, but they definitely would have felt the pressure, especially being kind of the team that have pretty much the same as us in Europe. They've really, really struggled over the years. They've had a lot of financial investment. I think the crowd would have got on their backs a little bit, but yeah, it's a shame. But Donnarumma's the saviour.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. Like when you think about it, the game was won in both boxes, wasn't it? Like Donnarumma in both legs. Like I can't tell you how good that goalkeeper is. Like I thought I see an unbelievable performance of David De Gea at the Emirates a couple of years ago, but when you think of the top quality saves that he pulled off in these two legs, it literally won and tied, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that one from Trossard in the first leg, and the Odegaard one in the second leg. Fuck me, I don't know how he saved them. I think the Martinelli shouldn't give him a chance with that at all. No, but he still managed to save it.
Yeah, definitely. Going to go over to you, Andy. Obviously, as I said, I thought we started off really well in the first 20 minutes. Where do you think the weaknesses lied in that first half? Because obviously we didn't take our chances, but we just seemed so vulnerable every time when we did lose the ball that they were just literally running through us. And I think the calling card had probably come a couple of occasions before they actually scored, didn't it? That they looked like they were just obviously threatening us again on the counter attack.
Yeah, it did absolutely. And as the guys said there, the first kind of first 15, 20 minutes was amazing, and we're all thinking, let's just get that goal and hopefully we can kick on. But then after that point, it's difficult to put a finger on actually what happened there. But all of a sudden, our press was so messy. We were kind of all over the place, which made it quite easy for them to play through us. And it was also the pace that they were moving the ball at some points was really causing us big issues. Because I think the thing we can't forget is that here's us whinging about coming out of a semi-final. Well, not whinging, but like losing the semi-final with the team that you would never have put down at the start of the season. That would be the team that would line up against PSG. So even with that side, yeah, I thought we did, for the most part, we did ever so well. My issue is that we have a captain who you're looking to kind of lead in them moments when we're in the trenches of it, which we were for about the last 20 minutes of the first half. Who's going to dig us out of that? Who's going to be the one that pulls everybody out of that? And I just feel that when things got a bit messy and the press was really poor, and it was so easy for PSG to play through. Like, you just think sometimes, like, who is that person who's allowing that to happen? Who's going to stop that? I'm pretty sure if they were going through Liverpool, for instance, your Virgil van Dijks, your big players would have pulled that together and stopped it. On the pitch, I do worry from a captain perspective what Odegaard does offer us.
Yeah, like obviously, my personal opinion, I think we're quite clear on it. I think everyone knows it. I think that to move this team forwards and with the capabilities he's got, I think Declan Rice is the right player to bring us forward in terms of that leadership. I just think that Odegaard needs to go back to concentrating on his own form and his own form only in his own game. The only thing I would say in the last two games, which has been encouraging, is that he's actually started shooting again, because we weren't even seeing that. But like you said, like the press that he used to produce has totally gone, isn't it, over the last season? There's definitely not something not right there in the background with him, whether it's an injury, whether it's he just didn't come back fit enough and he struggled. I don't know. But I just think moving forwards, in my personal opinion, I think we should release that captaincy pressure on him and give that to Declan Rice. And I think Declan Rice has already proven at West Ham that he can get teams over the line with his captaincy. And I'll say it again, I know it's only the Conference League, but to West Ham, that's massive. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that he's a better all-round leader. I think he does a lot of the interviews, as you see. He's very good around the youngsters. You're always seeing him encouraging them and bigging them up. And he's the only one who seems absolutely pissed off, if I'm being totally honest. Like the Bournemouth game. He's sitting on the bench absolutely fuming. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. You want someone who's not going to accept it. And I just think, personally, I think the decision needs to be made now, especially the way the season's gone. I'm going to go over to you, George, before I go over to John on it. What's your thoughts on the captaincy situation? And do you think that there should be a potential switch in captaincy?
I'm quite split with it, mate, to be honest. Like, I've always thought like maybe Rice or Gabriel should have been a captaincy choice. What I will say, and just deflecting a little bit, I do think this shows how much some of our players rely on Gabriel since he's been out. So I don't know if that plays into Ødegaard's faults. Like you said, he's been going forward a bit more. When we actually have a striker, that might actually play into Ødegaard's.
Yeah.
Like say whoever, I don't want to say who we're getting because don't know yet, do we really? So, but I think that plays into his like positive part of his game with Ødegaard. But I do agree with Andy. Like I'm not that thrilled on Ødegaard being the captain. Like when you really need, like you're in those trenches, like a couple of times it's just not for me. And like you said, Liam, just focus on what he was doing because, like, you think at one stage he was probably one of the best players in his position, like when he was like on top form. I find him quite frustrating. There's got to be something because, like, he's not been that great at all this season, has he? And yeah. I know Declan Rice is the obvious choice in that, but it'd just be nice to know, like, in that with the leadership group. And I'm hoping it's not just Declan Rice, if you get what I mean. Because I think you need some, for the better teams, have more than one leader or one speaker on the pitch, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think Declan Rice does that. I think like you've obviously said, Gabriel is a massive miss to this team. Kivior's done an outstanding job in terms of covering him, I think. And I think he's probably exceeded what we kind of expected from him, if I'm being frank.
I just think he brings the best out in Saliba, and that's nothing on Kivior. Like, that's not me shitting on him.
Nah.
I just think Gabriel brings the best out in Saliba. And then, like, you look when, obviously I know we'll come to your favourite person in goal later, but like when we had Raya, Timbo or White, Gabriel, Saliba, or like when we had those five in defence, we were the best defence probably in the world. And I think that's been a big issue of us this season as well. It's like when some of those players are not playing at the top of their game, and it is like what Andy said. You look at that squad that's got to the semi-final. There's none of us probably would have dreamed of naming that lineup. Anyone who says they did, would can I have your winning lottery tickets? Because I can't imagine anyone that's like saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to go with Marino in a Champions League semi-final when we're all like Kivior." So. Yeah, I just think if you've got Gabriel and Saliba, that's an experience next to Lewis Skelly, and I think that helps him as well.
Yeah, some good points there. Just want to say good evening to BX Gunner and good evening to Gav. I'm going to go to you, John, on a couple of them, obviously, subjects. In terms of the Saliba-Gabriel situation, I think it has identified that, obviously, with Saliba, not with Gabriel, he does seem a lot more vulnerable, doesn't he? And he has made a lot more what shall I say? He's made a lot more errors in the last probably month and a half. That's something that he's going to need to get into his game, isn't he? I know, and as I said before, I think we forget sometimes of William Saliba that you don't get many centre backs in the Premier League that play really, really young like he has. And I think maybe that inexperience in terms of not having that leader beside him is kind of showing.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think he's been he's a bit rusty, and obviously I do worry that people have been in his ear about possible moves. He does look a little bit distracted, but then his partner in crime's not there. I mean, Kivio has done a good job. You can't say he hasn't, but obviously when you're so used to having the same person beside you all the time, you're going to miss with it. And Gabriel, he is the voice and the leader of the two. I mean, when people say Saliba is the more talented, that's a question for everyone to decide. But Gabriel is the one you always see ordering people around and shouting and telling everyone where to go. And I think that's where the midfield has been lacking, because they're so used to him organising them, if you will. That is a big blow. And what I will say as well about Odegaard, not wanting to defend him because he hasn't been brilliant this year, but last year when we nearly won the league, everyone said the captain was wonderful. No one ever slagged him off. As soon as we were doing a bit of rubbish, all of a sudden he's the worst captain in the world. You know, obviously it's a bit harsh. You know, kick a man when he's down. He's clearly carrying an injury or something. You know, being a father for the first time, I think that's played. You know, it's all a bit of an upheaval, and he hasn't got that striker in front of him. You know, he don't. And I've said this about Havertz as well. They're very good friends on and off the pitch, and he does miss playing alongside him because he's always making that run for him, where other players maybe aren't quite on the same level. And I will say this about Declan Rice as well. You know, he could be captain, but mysteriously disappeared just with a hamstring strain, which no one knew nothing about, which I thought was a bit fishy. Odegaard was there, and he turned up, and he did very well in the second half. But we'll talk about that later.
Thing with Odegaard as well, just quickly, Liam, is that he's not played with a regular front three in front of him either. So, like, you got to think when Saka was out, we had it's been like Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz, like I'm just going through. Yes, well, yeah, like I said, 10 men. So it's just that I would say that's kind of in Odegaard's sort of defence. Like, he hasn't played. I think when we had a regular front three, like when we've had Saka, just say Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli, you did see Odegaard being a bit better. So I don't know if that's in the thinking as well.
What I will say about the Declan Rice situation is that maybe Arteta thought that the big game is next Sunday against Newcastle.
Maybe,
that could be that's basically going to be the game that determines whether we get second spot or not. Because as long as we pick up a point on Sunday, I think we should get second spot. And if he has got a slight injury, why would you risk him for Liverpool when? That's really not the definite defining game. We have to beat Newcastle. So there's obviously an injury there somewhere, and I think that there's probably been a number of players that have been playing under a lot of strain.
No, there is.
The last few months.
There's no choice.
He might have to play number 9. He'll have to play number 9 on Sunday, won't he?
They're bringing on the second players. We're bringing on fullbacks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just going to go back over to Cole. So the other point that was raised, prior to that, was obviously our defensive structure at the start of the season. So we started off at the start of the season with Ben White right back, Timber left back, Saliba and Gabriel. Would you see that as the strongest back four within the team, or do you? Because that would be a bit brutal in terms of Lewis Skelly. But do you see that being the strongest back four at the moment within the club, or do you see it being with Timber on the right and Skelly on the left?
Oh, that's a tough question, isn't it? Because Lewis Skelly's been outrageous this year.
It's got to be Skelly. He kept so quiet, you see. He's best player in the league.
Yeah, I think it's very harsh. It's very harsh, isn't it? Like, I think with Ben White, he's him and Saka's relationship has been quality, but you can't argue Timber all round is a better player. He's quite clear ahead of Ben White as well for me. It's the balance in it, I suppose, with what you get with Lewis Skelly on the left. You get balance over that left foot, and I don't think you can forget Calafiori either. I know he's had an injury hit season, but I think he's quite a special player. He got a goal in him as well. He might be able to play number 9 on Sunday. But I think Ben White sits out for me at the moment. I think Lewis Skelly's got that place. It just depends on if Lewis Skelly wants to continue playing there. If he wants to do a Maitland-Niles and want to play in midfield, then he could find himself being sold. But I think he seems quite happy at left back at the moment. But I do think that we will look to push him into midfield next year.
Yeah, like I think that personally, I think if Ben White would have been fully fit, I think maybe the Paris Saint-Germain game away might have been a bit of could have been a wise choice maybe to play experience away, and that's nothing to Skelly, do you know what I mean, whatsoever, because what's been expected from him to what we expected in let's be honest, when he come on against Liverpool in October, no one here would have even thought that he would end up playing for England within a couple of months and end up playing the whole season at left back. The job he's done is unbelievable, but I think there is still that piece, isn't there, where I think we do need to pull him in and take him out sometimes, give him a breather and that kind of stuff. But
did you see Ben White not being say, going back when we first bought him to playing centre half, if they wanted to rotate?
No, I don't. I think Ben White will only ever play centre back for us now if Saliba was injured. I think he's a good cover for Saliba, but I don't think there's any ambition to play him now. I think it's an interesting situation at the moment with Ben White, because as it goes, if Skelly does nail down that left back position, he's pretty much secondary now in terms of the right back and the centre back role. And is he going to be happy with that? That's going to be an interesting to see over the next probably 12 months and how that kind of develops. But it is good choices and what we've got. And unfortunately, if Ben White didn't get injured, then maybe we could have been a little bit different going away to Paris. I'm not saying whatsoever that's obviously what lost us the game, because it isn't. But I just think when you look at that back four at the start of the season, they went to Aston Villa, they kept the clean sheet, at Tottenham. And that's experience, isn't it? That was four very good defenders. But Skelly's come in and he's just taken that left back inverted role to a different level, an absolute different level. And I think naturally, I do agree with Cole. I think he will end up playing centre midfield, but when that will be, I don't know yet. Just going to go to you, Andy, on that one. How do you feel the development of Lewis Skelly will be over the next 12 to 24 months? Do you still see him playing that left back role, or do you think they could then potentially look at him moving forward?
I think at the moment it's going to be the left back role. I can't see him moving into midfield, even though it's his position of choice. I just think that in the summer in particular, it's that centre midfield that we need to make sure we get the right player that comes in. Whether Zubimendi is going to be that player or not, I don't know. I think when everyone's fully fit and flying, I really do believe that Calafiori will be our left back. I really do. I think the guy's quality. He just needs a run of games. But the Lewis Skelly one, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we all know he's a centre midfielder, but he looks a complete natural when he plays at left back. I love his attitude. I love his bit of swagger about him. But so I think as much as he might want to push to move into midfield, I really can't see it happening. I think that's going to be an area that we're going to look at really closely, because we need someone probably to take over from Thomas Partey. And if that is Zubimendi, then I still think there might be one more to come in attacking wise. But it's going to be an interesting one with Skelly, because he's class. The kid is brilliant. He is really good. And he's surprised everyone this season. Got himself in the England squad, fully deserved it. But I can honestly see next season Calafiori will be our left back.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, isn't there? I'm going to go over to you, John, quickly on that one. When you start looking, there is a lot of options. When you got Calafiori, if he comes back fit, he can play in both roles. Like we said, Timber, obviously Ben White. You got Saliba and Gabriel, and you got Kivior as well. We don't know what's going to happen with him. But there's still talk that potentially, strangely, we still might bring another left back in, which has been a talk. And when you start
looking at centre half,
when you start looking at Zinchenko and Tierney will go, and maybe Kivior might go if the right deal comes in. Let's be honest, if a good deal comes in for him, I think it could make sense to kind of obviously sell him. But do you think we need another left back?
Yeah, get two more. Like I said, it all depends who leaves. I mean, if you look at it at the moment, our defence, sorted. We don't need to get anyone else in. But like I said, Tierney's going to go. I presume Zinchenko will leave, although that seems to have gone very quiet. But I'd be amazed if he's stayed. But who knows? He might do. If we keep saying we're bringing all these players in. Some players are going to go, you know what? I'm going to stay. You know, I might not play so much, but we could win something next year. So he could end up staying. And so I don't know. I mean, I'd be surprised if they brought anyone else in, but I didn't think we'd sign Calafiori, to be fair. And if you think this time last year, who can hand on heart say they even knew who Miles Lewis Kelly was? I mean, his elevation is just incredible. It's just, you know, I mean, he gets so much credit, but I don't think he actually gets as much credit as he should get. I mean, it's such a story. It's automatically he's one of the first, names possibly on the team sheet at the moment. You know, he's going to be an England regular. He's 18. It's just, it's incredible. And he can play in a variety of roles. Yeah, I think he will play fullback for quite a while. I mean, I can't see us getting another fullback. I mean, I'd rather they didn't bother, to be honest. Just get that extra midfielder, like Andy said. Get another centre mid, because Jorginho's going. And Partey's, I presume, I can't imagine him staying. So, why keep spending money on defenders when we should be pretty settled? I mean, who knows? There could well be another fullback, another defender bursting through like Lewis Kelly. We don't know. We know Dowman's going to come through. So, that midfielder might not necessarily come because he's going to chuck him in, I would have thought. Because the way he's going, is it 16 goals and assists in his last 7 games? I mean, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he could be your mile, mate, the way he's going.
So David,
everyone thought Waneri was going to be the one. But I do think he's going to be something else.
It's going to quickly, Sam. A quick question for you, John. What about Ben White in the 6 role? Do you think he could play the number 6 role? No. I don't think the kind of calibre of player we want.
I can't see it. I would say if he's not playing fullback or centre half, I would not play him in midfield. I know he's played there for Brighton or Leeds.
Yeah, it's not for me either. I think that player needs to be at
level. It's not for me.
David,
I mean, Calafiori out of all of them, I would say, or Timber could play there possibly. They could do that role, but why when you can probably buy someone else? Don't let him do what he did with Partey. Start playing everyone in funny positions. No, we don't need that.
Just to answer the other question, where did MLS play for England? He played at left back. And Thomas Tuchel really liked him.
I'm just saying that got broke today by David Ornstein, which I found interesting. Was he said, I think it was this evening, is if Partey don't sign a new deal, Arsenal are buying a new midfielder. So it's like, I think it's either Partey or they'll replace him.
So, and that's not
no, that's alongside Zubimendi.
We have to. If we want to compete, we have to sign a good quality. Another good top quality midfielder, especially an attacking midfielder. If we could go and get Eze, you see it would completely change things.
That's your Leon once. He was messaging me that yesterday.
Yeah,
Eze won that.
I feel it's trending.
I think he's taking his info.
I just think it feels that like it completes the picture, that the piece in the jigsaw with Eze, like you said, Liam, like I can't think of a negative why signing
Palace win Saturday though. I don't know if he'll come because he might want to play in Europe for Palace. But I could be lying there. I don't know.
Holy fuck.
No,
He wants to fucking play Europe for Palace, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but he's
Eddie and Nketiah.
Maybe he just wants to finish that off and then leave. I don't know.
No,
I think
Eddie back in the Europe. Bloody hell.
It's like Elise, he fucked off, didn't he? I know there weren't.
Yeah, that's true.
The clubs come in, they leave.
Yeah, no.
I think that I've spoken to a couple of people who around.
Man City will sniff around him. To be fair, on Saturday, if he does well, they'll be straight on him.
I spoke to
Pep Guardiola will do his little thing after for the cameras after the game, arm round him, jabbering on. They won't let him leave, mate.
No, I was about to say, like, I spoke to a couple of people who kind of know a little bit, and they kind of believe that Eze is a player that we are looking at. And there is scope that we could go in for him in the summer. So I think it is definitely one of them to kind of look at, just wait upon. And he's an Arsenal fan as well. So do you know what I mean? There's that added thing as well. And I agree with Cole. Like, why does he want to play in the UEFA Cup when he can play in the Champions League? Let's be honest.
It's bigger though, isn't it? Like Europa League. That's what I've been getting told.
Easier competition to be in.
It's probably it is an easier competition to get you into the Champions League now. To be fair, as it's showing in the final this year. But just going to go back to the game. Obviously, we didn't take our chances. Donnarumma was unbelievable. How do you think Saka fared in terms of the 2 games, Carl? Because I thought like he was quite unlucky in the second game in terms of Donnarumma pulled off another unbelievable save from him. I thought he was much better in the second game than he was in the first game, if I'm being totally honest with you. But he had a massive chance, didn't he? And if we got that back to 2-2, I think Paris Saint-Germain could have been kind of shitting themselves for that last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think he was rushed back when he Saka anyway. Massively rushed back. And I think you can kind of tell with his performances, he's not running at people as much as what he was beginning of the year. But obviously to have him in, it's huge for the actual team, isn't it? Yeah, he was unlucky. I mean, he's got to do better, and he's had a couple of them when it comes firing into him on his right foot. Just got to try and get his knee over it. I think second game he was a little bit better, wasn't he? I think they kind of PSG. The problem is they got that early goal, and that was them. That's exactly what they wanted, and all they tried to do was hit us on that counter, and all they did was triple up on Saka, sometimes double up on him, and it was very hard to get him one-on-one with that Mendes, and that Kvaratskhelia was unreal in terms of his work rate over the 2 legs. Outrageous. And I can't believe we didn't even go and fucking sniff around him in January.
I think he already said he just wanted to go there, though, didn't he?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. A few people moaned about that, and I think someone said he said he just wanted to go there, and that was it. No one. I don't know. Money, mate. Money.
Maybe like croissants.
And baguettes, yeah.
It's just it baffles me why players want to go and play for. I know obviously money is a massive thing, but
they're always guaranteed to win the league.
Yeah, I know. Going to win a trophy. Whatever they are. There's just no ambition. Maybe we don't want to play like that. Then maybe that's how we could phrase it. But yeah, no, he works his socks off over the 2 legs. Made it hard for Saka to get any kind of joy. Even his kind of corners are a little bit iffy at the moment, aren't they? I just don't think he's particularly fit. We've just tried to get him in just to lift the club.
Well, I think most of the players are just fucked in there, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the
same. There's no one else to come on. There's no rotation. They're happy to play every week because there's no one else. And that's why the season has fizzled out, because everyone's a bit cheesed off, aren't they? You know, yeah.
No,
Raya, I know Raya's having a nightmare, but Raya doesn't have a rest because they fucked up getting Neto in. So it's just...
Yeah.
I do apologise, John. I am going to have to hand over to you a minute. I've got a crying back. Someone's crying.
Oh, that's all right. So I'll go on. You're not making them watch Arsenal highlights again, are you?
the David Raya highlight reel.
I mean, we might as well talk about David Raya quickly, because he is coming under a bit of fire, especially from Liam. Every message I was getting yesterday, he's getting my bloody nerves.
You're putting that mildly, Brooksy.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got to try and be polite. But, I mean, yeah, this season, he has spent a few hours. I mean, I shouldn't say he's fatigued about the money he's on. But I do think, Andy, obviously, they're getting Neto in. It's just such a stupid... I mean, we've moaned about this before. But because it doesn't ever play, so Raya has to play every week. He's got to be on it every week. Obviously, the defence is changing. Gabriel, possibly the leader of the defence isn't there. It's tough for him. And he's making good saves, like that one against Liverpool yesterday, right at the end. A great save. But it's just some of his kicking and just some lapse of concentration. It just seems to be costing us a few times.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I understand completely what you're saying there. I actually don't think there's an issue. I think Ray's quality, I really do. Just that when you're a goalkeeper and playing a system like what we play, at times that first pass is quite high risk if you're trying to break lines. And for the most part, his passing and his distribution is top quality. The problem being a goalkeeper, something goes wrong, it's generally going to lead to a massive chance or a goal potentially. And he's just gone through that little stage at the moment. Let's not forget though, take the last, say, maybe 5 games out of the equation. He's almost been player of the season.
Yeah, he's still got 12 clean sheets.
He's been outstanding. So I personally, it's only my opinion, I think David Raya's absolute quality. We can't go and get a Donnarumma. So outside of Donnarumma and maybe there's a couple of others, he's up there with the best. And his distribution for the most part is phenomenal. And that's what our system demands of our goalkeeper, which is probably why Neto never gets a game, because he's a good goalkeeper, but he's very basic with his feet, which doesn't suit the system that we and Arteta want to play with us. So yes, in my opinion, I love Raya. I think he's a great signing. Take away the last 5 games, he's been class this season, and I know he's getting a lot of criticism at the moment. I think it's way over the top. We've got no issues with our goalkeeper.
What doesn't help, I think, is because Donnarumma was so good, George, and he was amazing when he. I don't think that's helped his cause, because they're looking at him doing all these great saves. Like, well, why can't Raya do that? Well, they can't really stretch Raya out.
He did make a great save. Made one great save.
It was just annoying yesterday, because obviously that kick he did to Marino, and bless him, he just lost the ball and then tried to redeem himself and got sent off. I think obviously, and he said, you make a mistake like that, it is very tough for a keeper.
I think what it is as well is that I agree with Andy that I rate Raya massively. But Raya's up there with the top goalkeepers. Alisson and Ederson have done this. Like, I think people seem to forget that. And Alisson and Ederson,
very overrated.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. A lot of people say he was one of the best keepers out there. But like Donnarumma, like, he's brilliant, but he has made mistakes. Like,
oh yes,
you know what I mean.
Best in the air, to be fair.
What frustrates me with Rayo is just like the kicking out. That does frustrate me a bit. But once again, like, if he's playing, he ain't got the normal back 4 bit like in front of him. It's like, I think he ain't really pushed either. So I think if we get this Juan Garcia, I think that's
what I was just about to say.
Yeah, I think. But
there's rumours going around that looks like it's going to happen. And this is what I've been saying all last week with the squad. We just need to, people moaning about Martinelli and Trossard. I was like, I'm all for keeping them, but it's the players they get in for the wingers and that. I mean, you say that, George, but again, yesterday's second half, they were both superb. And I was just trying to get them to play like that. But if we get players in that are slightly better than them, then surely they're going to I'm hoping it's going to make them raise their game. Yeah, there might be wishful thinking, but people coming in, that's what we want, competition for places. That's why maybe Odegaard has gone stale, is you want people eager to snap up, but we haven't got that this year because we haven't got a squad because everyone's injured.
It's just the inconsistency for me. Like, Martinelli frustrates me like a lot.
He annoys everybody, to be fair.
Yeah, like, Trossard, I've always...
That's brilliant.
Trossard, I've always said, he's a squad player at best. Like, he'd come on for the last 20 minutes. But I think we know that he wouldn't be starting, would he? Like, if, like, after we brought players in, or say like Havertz and all them lot of fit.
Again, but that's fine. That's it. Stick him on the bench.
At least you have a bench then.
We haven't got a problem. Yeah, well, exactly.
We ain't got one at the minute.
Martinelli, Trossard coming on with 20 minutes to go running at people isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not Raheem Sterling or some little ginger kid who I've never seen before in the bench yesterday. Who the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Henry Francis.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like he won a competition.
Ron Weasley.
I don't know who he was. He just kept me sitting there chewing gum and really, really depressed. I was like, who's that?
But yeah, but with Raya, I think Raya does get a lot of flack, and I just think.
What's your thoughts on him, Lee?
I think he's deteriorating. If I'm being totally honest, I think he's deteriorating. His performances, he's putting a lot of these players into trouble, and he needs to be a bit more selective when he's playing a ball out. Who's he playing ball out to? Like, Mourinho ain't going to turn like Thomas Partey. Do you know what I mean? He's got to make the right decisions at the right time. And when you're at Anfield in the last 10 minutes, what the decision that he's done has now cost us Marino. And it ain't just him. Like, Marino's got to do a lot better. A lot better. But that decision now has cost us him playing up front against Newcastle. And I've seen, like, over the last few months, I've seen too much of it. Positioning-wise, we can go back to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. He made a high-class error in that game. West Ham, Skelly gets sent off. He's out of his goal, totally out of his goal, and gives Skelly no chance or choice but to get a red card. Do you know what I mean? Marino's now got a red card because he played that ball out, which I just think last 10 minutes just don't do that. Do you know what I mean? At Anfield. And then you look at other goals like the Saliba one, and I know it's not really, it is rare and it isn't rare, but he's positioning, and the Real Madrid one. Real Madrid and Crystal Palace are totally the two same kind of goals. Do you know what I mean? They're just both of them are just totally not doing what they should be doing, and they're not positionally right. So I think a goalkeeper does need to come in, and I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever we get another Bernd Leno and Ramsdale situation if this Garcia comes in, because you ain't going to buy a goalkeeper for 25-30 million and he's going to sit on the bench. It doesn't work like that. We've seen how the process works over Bernd Leno and Ramsdale. And I like David Ray. I think he's got a lot of qualities, but he needs to get back to doing what he was doing probably about 6 months to a year ago, because 8 months ago, he was superb. He was pulling off incredible saves. His handling was good. His kicking was good. He was booting balls out of play like yesterday. Like 2 balls in the last 5 minutes straight out of play. Like,
that's on purpose, though.
Pardon?
He's doing that on purpose.
We didn't have any strikers by the end of the day.
Yeah, mate.
If you're playing against 10 men and you've got 10 men,
we had Zinchenko on the pitch.
There's nobody
to
to hit.
Kick it out.
You haven't got a habit to hit.
Well, because he got him sent off, didn't he? He got the geezer that we had sent off, basically. But, I totally get it. But I think his distribution's gone downhill over the last few months.
I think you've been a bit harsh.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of errors.
I do think the Palace game is Saliba's fault, though.
As I said before there, but sometimes with keepers, when the keeper makes an error, yes, it gets highlighted massively. We've had sections, we've had seasons where Alisson's gone through it for Liverpool, Edison's gone through it at City. All keepers go through it. That yesterday, you're talking about the Marino thing. It was just a crap touch. The pass wasn't that bad. It was a poor touch that got him into trouble. If he takes his touch properly out of his feet and plays through the lines, we're actually moving away quite nicely. So you can't blame Ray for the goal yesterday. It was a crap touch from Marino. Hold your hands up, which he probably did, and move on. There's not a problem with the keeper at all. You're saying 6 to 8 months ago he was doing this, that, and the other. He was doing that just prior to 5 or 6 matches ago.
He wasn't. His performances have gone down, have drastically dipped, and I think it probably is a bit with Gabriel as well. But his performance ain't as good as what they were at the start of the season. They're nowhere near as good. I'm sorry, they're nowhere near as good. Nowhere near. And I tell you, Garcia's going to come in, and I'm telling you now, there ain't no smoke without fire with that one. We'll end up in the same situation again. I honestly believe that.
Couldn't you say that about most players, Liam, this season?
Yeah, but you could say that about Ramsdale. Do you know what I mean? Did he actually make that many high class errors? But his position still went. Was it his fault that we conceded goals in the first 10 seconds 3 times in a row? Yeah, this team does not learn quick enough. And that is the reason why we just don't learn quick enough, and we make the same mistakes time after time. Bit like the Saliba one. And yeah, I totally get it, but still positionally, it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right that you continue to make the same mistakes as a team. Do you know what I mean? And we're watching it now. That it's 3-4 times in the last month we're making the same mistakes.
I think that's why Arteta was so angry.
I'm angry. Of course he's angry. Of course he's angry because he's sitting there scratching his head probably, thinking, why do we continue to do this? It's like, you just knew, and I know you had a laugh at it, John, but when we missed that first chance in the first 3 minutes where Saka should just hold the ball square, you just know Liverpool are scoring the first goal from that moment. Yeah. You just know Liverpool are scoring from the goal.
Yeah.
And I just think that we're very slow in terms of learning at times, and I think we always make the same mistake time after time. And I'm bored of it, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah? I'm bored of it. Like, we need to...
What I will say, and
Go on. No.
be a bit more positive. I mean, as doom and gloom as the first half was, Carl, I'll go to you. How, well, I'd say impressed is the right word. Are we just pleased to show a bit of fight? But obviously, 2-0 down at half time, everyone's expecting us to lose 4 or 5-0. I know I was. It was good to see him show a bit of bollocks and, you know, come back.
Well, I'm gonna throw it out there. I didn't actually see the game.
I didn't either, Carl.
You're fighting up ladies, weren't you? That's what you do.
I'm not blind.
Topless with your beard.
It was a date, but it was a date with my 2 daughters. So it was the best kind of date. No, it was my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
So I took them around there. I was keeping an eye on the score. Saw it was obviously 2-0 down. And so obviously we fought back and got it to 2-2. I've seen our goals. It looked like obviously we dug in the second half, but yeah, I haven't seen the last 2 home games. I've been busy doing other bits and pieces.
You haven't
missed much.
No.
You've done the right thing, Carl.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, it's good, obviously, and again, it keeps our record against the top 6 up as well, which is fucking impressive, actually, to be honest. Just seems like we drop points at home to the same kind of teams every year, innit? Fulham's again.
It's just the other 14 teams you seem to struggle with, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
so I didn't actually watch the game. I've just seen the 2 goals, which good goals to be fair. Martinelli's header was good, and obviously Marino. He seems to have got that little bit of poacher in him sometimes, doesn't he? Which is quite nice. But yeah, I can't add no more to that, unfortunately.
No, it's all right. So Andy's a real Arsenal fan and watched the game yesterday. I mean, I'd say, I know I touched on it earlier, but I have to say it was good to see the senior players, if you will, like your Trossard, your Odegaard and Martinelli, grabbing the game and go, right, we're going to sort this out and get us back to where we need to be.
Who's that to me?
Andy. Sorry, to Andy, sorry.
Sorry, can you say that again? I actually lost connection here.
No, you little minx. That's all right. I'm just saying it was good to see the senior players like your Odegaards, Trossard, Martinelli grabbing the game in the second half and going, right, we're going to sort this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what? It's one of the few times that Odegaard's actually done that as well.
Yes.
You could see it actually. He was wanting the ball in all sorts of positions.
Interestingly to see him actually shooting, you know, having a real shot. Where's that shot been in the second half? And he smashed it and the keeper saved it and it went in, you know, from Marino. He hasn't hardly done that this year.
He had the chance sort of late on when he didn't quite catch his shot properly, and you know, that was a kind of half chance. But that's probably one of the few times when you're looking at your captain and your talisman to kind of do something. And to be fair to him, because I've been his biggest critic this season, he did pull out all the stops, you know, and you could see that obviously had a rocket at half time and come out a completely different unit. The press was so much better. We never allowed Liverpool to really come out too much at all. Really, it was no, the second half was one to be kind of happy and to be proud of, because it's completely polar opposite to the first half. When I don't think I've ever been so angry watching my team play. Never been so angry, because
here we go again.
There was that air of inevitability. Liam just hit the nail on the head before, where we were all waiting for Liverpool to score. That's how it became, and we knew they were going to score. So to go in at half time and I was literally punching walls and picking.
You should go and watch about Liam.
Me dogs.
I
had to take my dogs to the vet. Kicked them too many times as well. But it's second half was great. Honestly, it was great, and to go in their backyard and do that there, it was phenomenal, really. And again, we keep going back to it as well. We've got players who were without a shadow of a doubt playing with injuries. Declan Rice was playing with an injury yesterday. Against PSG. Second half he was carrying, but he's still, you know, we can't take him off. He's too big for us. And then all of a sudden now we might have lost him potentially for the season if it's a hamstring injury, with a massive game against Newcastle coming up. So it's going to be tough times. I think it could be interesting times to see what happens in the next week.
And obviously the annoying thing, Liam, obviously we played Liverpool twice. Never ever with a full team. And we've drawn 2 of them twice. And I don't care if I'm going to look stupid. I know for a fact that if we'd had our full-strength team, we would beat them. I don't care if they need champions. Congratulations, do one. You can't even support your own players. But, you know, I just think if we have a full-strength team, Liverpool just, they're a good side, but we would beat them if we had a full-strength team. I don't know what you think. I mean, they were lucky at ours. You know, there's a couple of dubious decisions. I remember Gabriel wasn't playing.
He got injured, didn't he?
That was a more or less full-strength team yesterday. I know they would have won the league, but they wanted to beat us. No doubt about it. He wanted to put out a statement.
Absolutely, he did.
I mean, what did you think? I'll have to ask, because obviously when Trent Arnold come on, Liam, I mean, I thought it was scandalous. I'm sure you did as well. But I think that really changed the game in our favour, because all of a sudden everyone's on his back and not getting behind their team, and it just seemed to affect all their players. That's unbelievable.
And that's why it was gutting to see the red card, because actually at that point there was only one team. There was only one team. There was only one team that was going to win that game, and that's why I'm so frustrated, because there was only one team. But that's why I'm frustrated over the whole season. Liverpool ain't better than us when they got that. We got our 11, they got our 11. Like, we would have beat them at the Emirates. We was a better team for 60 minutes in that game. We lose Gabriel, and then we. I don't want to say we folded, because we didn't fold, but we weren't comfortable. Do you know what I mean? And Salah's world class. You can't give him that moment. At their place yesterday, first half, we gave it to them. We think we basically put it on a platter for them, didn't we? Them 2 goals, and then we come back, and yet again we was the better team. Like, we started off actually really well till they scored. I thought we started off quite positively. And if you give us our full strength 11 to their full strength 11, I'm comfortable that we will beat them at home. And do you know what? We've done what they've done to us over the last 2 years at Anfield. We've gone into a 2-0 lead, and then they pulled us back. We actually done what they've done to us. And I do agree. That takes some character, because do you know what? To do it at Anfield, and their backs, we picked their crowd up in the first half, and that's what frustrated me. They weren't even singing, mate, until they scored, and then they got into party mode.
Overrated.
Yeah. So to don't come back in the second half and do what they did, I thought was quite good. I'm not being brought, though, in terms of individual performances, because I've seen it before. And they have one good game and then they have 5 average ones. So I'm not being brought by that at this moment. But if we kept our full strength squad for the whole of the season, we would have made a title race for it 100%. But we need a number 9. We need a number 9. And this goes back to the other question you said. We got an incredible record against the top 6, an incredible record, but that makes it worse. That actually we don't lose to the top 6 whatsoever. But where we lose to is all the low block teams, the lower mid blocks, where, do you know what I mean? You need that number 9. When that killer chance comes, we take it. And there's been so many times this season where we haven't taken it, whether Havertz misses it, whether Trossard misses it, whether Martinelli misses it. Do you know what I mean? We need that upgrade now, because that's what will be the difference, and that's what will win us the title. And it won't be at Liverpool as such. It won't be at Man City as such. It'll actually be at Bournemouth, at Fulham, at Brentford. That's what's going to win us the title. And I think if we get the number 9, I honestly, we get the number 9 and we keep the squad fit for the season, and we only lose 1 or 2 players in different areas, I think we win the league. I really, really do. And that's what's so frustrating. That is what is so frustrating at the moment. So frustrating, because we actually started the season off really well. We went to Villa and won at Villa. We went to Tottenham and won at Tottenham. And even Man City, until Trossard gets sent off, we're winning that game. We're winning that game. And I swear down, right, if Trossard doesn't get sent off that game or we win that game, I think the whole title picture is totally different. I think the whole title picture is totally different. I think the wheels come off after that Man City game, sadly. And it was because of injuries, red cards and everything. But, yeah, our squad, when fully fit, is the best squad, strangely, in the league.
Surely we can't have as many injuries next year, can we? Can't.
Yeah, but that's rotation. That's the rotation piece.
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
that's where the squad depth comes in. I mean, I've heard more. I mean, we're going to get sick and tired of it, I'm sure. But every day there seems to be another rumour. But the one I do keep seeing, I mean, I don't know if it's true. They put a foreign name in it and you get excited. But looks like Gikarish. I have to try and pronounce his name properly. Victor. I think that's the one that looks like it's going to happen. Whether that's, I don't know, it could be complete rubbish, but that's what I keep seeing every day. We're getting closer and closer to signing him. Our bid's been submitted for about £75 million. Do you think there's any truth in it?
Signing who? Sorry, you broke up there.
Oh, Victor Gukarish, the Sporting Lisbon
yeah,
lad.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
the one I keep seeing at the moment. I know it looks like it's between him and Sesko, but there's more stuff I keep reading about Gukarish. I mean, around and where it's quiet, that's the one that's getting done. I mean, yeah. Anyone have any ideas? I mean, it's going to be one of them, and I can't see it being anyone else. It's going to be one of them.
I do think there's truth in it. I don't think it's as advanced as people think it is, because there's a lot
very
of
clever of his. It's just funny,
There's a
George,
lot-
isn't it, so quickly how we lose
yeah.
PSG, and all of a sudden, Super Mendy's definitely coming. I just wonder if they lose against Newcastle, whether it'll be announced.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting stuff because, like, so from some of the big sources, like in Portugal, is that Arsenal put these bids in, but that don't make sense because, according to some of their high sources, is Victor Gyökeres has got a release clause. So unless they're trying to steal a march on the only one and this sounds really ridiculous when I say it, the only person I think that we're competing with for him is Man United.
And that's my worry.
Because if United win the Europa League, they've got Champions League and all that.
I think we're trying to get it done now before they do. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think it's him or Sesko. Like, it's Isak. I don't know why people are still trying to bang on that drum. That's not happening. So I think it's Gyökeres or Sesko, and it. Like, we don't know. Berta seems to be like doing some serious stuff at the minute. So
yeah, no, it's all
he
good.
might go and buy both of them.
You never know. And I mean, I know you said the ship was probably sailed, but there is a possibility if we beat Newcastle on Sunday and they maybe lose in the next game after that and other results go their way, Newcastle will miss out on the Champions League spot. Would Isak think, well, I'm going?
He doesn't even look himself, though, the last few games.
That's the annoying thing, because we know what's going to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, so I don't know if his head's been turned as well a little bit, but even Watkins, I won't be dead against Watkins. Like,
no, I wouldn't. He wants to come. You could see his whole body. I know he did well the other day, and he looked very happy when he scored for Villa. But he'd love to come to Arsenal. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But I do think the ship has sailed, unless they can get him done for a cheaper price.
I just think Berta is going to this summer. He's going to want to have an absolute statement summer,
Definitely.
And that's why
that's what we're all hoping for.
That's why I think they buy at least 6 players at least. Like,
oh, you reckon? Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. Because he ain't going to just come in and he ain't going to just come in and do like, oh yeah, we'll get that one. He's going to want to make a statement.
A keeper, Zubimendi, a striker. What do you reckon? A winger?
A winner.
Left midfielder.
A winner, left midfielder, and I think they'll get another centre half.
And I think we will sign another left back.
Oh, go on, that's 7. Oh, that'd be great.
Maybe a midfielder as Party goes.
Well, Jorginho as well.
Yeah.
Well, Jorginho's gone, isn't he?
Okay, so we're signing Sterling and Neto.
That's Jamie Vardy on the free.
Oh, could you imagine? Oh, see, so was it? Some idiot put that on Twitter. Was it earlier or yesterday? Would you take Vardy on a? What? I don't know what world people live in.
Yeah, about 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. I reckon he'll go somewhere like Leeds. Just going off radar with him. He'll be a shit house to someone.
Well, yeah, I think we'll get Gyökeres. But
how about you, Liam? Any inklings? I mean, no one knows, do they? I was sort of guessing. We're just hoping, aren't we?
Well, Gyökeres obviously is the one I want. I don't actually know who I want. I don't really mind that Gyökeres or Sesko.
I just want a striker. I don't care.
Yeah, Sesko probably suits the model, but Gyökeres is. I just think that he's a different animal, mate. I think.
I just think he's hitting his peak. I just think he's really.
I think right at this moment of time, that's probably what we need, because actually next season we have to go and win the league. We have to win. Arteta has to win something.
Arteta has to win something next year.
Do or die for Arteta next season.
But I'm not brought into this situation here, right? That we need to wait for their UEFA Cup final, because actually, if he's Man United's his first choice, then actually I don't really want him.
No,
because he needs to pick Arsenal because he wants to play at Arsenal. And let's be honest, like United, okay, they're potentially getting to the Champions League. Are they really? They're going to hit
bad.
They're not going to hit.
That final's going to be so shit next week. Is it next Wednesday?
It's
going to be so bad.
Yeah, I'm washing my hair that night.
But it's going to be so bad. Can both teams lose?
No,
they're both idiots. But the managers. I mean, how on earth they're in the final? And even their team selections yesterday, they don't want us playing some of their strongest players. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, Kulusevski would have injured. He's been arguably Spurs' best player. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think ideally, as long as Gyökeres wants to come to us, then I think that's the one. But he needs to want to come to us. But I don't see why he'd want to go Man United over us at the moment anyway. Because let's be honest, United can go into Champions League next year, and they could get knocked out in the group stages. Do you know what I mean?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
So yeah,
I just thought because of the Amarin link, that was my only thinking with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying that Sporting look like they're going to win the league again. So it's not as if that manager was that good, because the new man's come in and they're still top. So.
But did you see Sesko's goal the other one?
Yeah, I'll take him as well. My worry is with Sesko, if we don't get him, Chelsea will. Because he'll definitely leave. Leipzig.
I think Chelsea get Osimhen.
Yeah, he's a greedy mercenary. He could go there.
Just reminds me of a typical Chelsea strike.
Yeah, exactly that. Again, I'll take Osimhen and all.
But what I wouldn't be surprised if it depends. Like if Newcastle lost Isak, then they would go for Sesko. I think it's going to be like a domino effect with the strikers. Like I don't know who's going to get who. Like, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Liverpool go in for one of them.
Well, yeah, because you would think Darwin Núñez will probably leave.
And he's a great striker, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
Part of the big striker merry-go-round. So obviously looking in regards to Sunday's game, obviously Newcastle 4:30. Obviously they've become a bogey team, and they, Carl, this year. We've lost them 3 times, twice in the League Cup and away in the league. Surely we're going to beat them this time.
It was always a bit of a given, wasn't it, Newcastle?
But if you see their game yesterday, I mean, Nicholas Jackson cost Chelsea big time yesterday. I don't know what he was doing. But I thought Newcastle were very nervy and jittery at 1-0 against 10 men. They were lucky to get the second one. It took a deflection, and I didn't think they were that spectacular. And, I think obviously Marino, Trossard and Rice are both out. It's sod's law, because if we can get at them and get a goal or two, I think we'll beat them, because I think this season they've won the cup and they're going to be in Europe. I think they're content. I think, they're probably going to get top 4.
Yeah, I think with Newcastle, it always used to be a given, didn't it? You get 3 points no matter where you went with them. But obviously they've had the injection of cash, and they've got some really good players, to be fair. And they always seem to want to beat us at the moment. So it's going to be a tough game. Obviously they want that Champions League spot as well, and it probably looks like they're going to get it at the moment. I don't know who they've got after us.
Who have they got? They've got.
Is it? No, it's not Fulham.
I was going to say Everton, but I don't think it is Everton.
It could be Everton, actually.
What, the Newcastle last game? Yeah, it's Everton.
Yeah, home, yeah.
That's a gimme, innit? That's a gimme.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
They should have qualified Champions League then this year, really, which is definitely Isaac's out the window then. But I think you're going to blow your whole budget on one player, aren't you?
That's the problem.
I don't think that's where we're at. If it was just a striker that we needed, then you could probably afford to go and splash 150 on him. But we need other players. We need left winger as well.
Not to know what, like, when everyone says that, Carl, as well, is that with your comparing Gyökeres to Isak, their levels and numbers ain't that much different. But
Yeah,
I think a lot of people forget Isak does carry a lot of injuries throughout a season.
Yeah,
Sometimes he can be quite hit and miss as well.
I'm not saying he's a shit striker, by the way. Like,
but he can be hot and cold.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'd like to know what the difference in numbers between Isak and Gyökeres were. I know people say, "Oh, but Gyökeres is doing it in Portugal, and Isak's in the Premier League." But
the problem
he scores goals for Sweden as well.
You can only play against who you're playing against, can't you?
The only problem with Gyökeres' numbers are penalties as well. He's got 18 penalties this year. All right, you have to score them still. I get that, but you ain't getting 18 penalties for Arsenal. You better get one.
Yeah.
You do set pieces though. You got Gabriel and him in the box.
Yeah, I know. He's a lump, isn't he? He's about
He's
what?
a beast.
He's
Might get 18 over 18 years, but yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, we need someone, but it's not like we need just a striker. We need a left winger as well. We need someone that has the same or similar output to what Saka gives you on the other wing, like Liverpool had with
who do you want?
Diaz and fucking Salah. Like they're not. Oh, I know Salah's had an unreal season, but Diaz, he puts in the numbers too. We got Saka. That's it.
Who do you want, Carl? Who do you want? Give me a name.
Again, Sesko or Gyökeres are the likely ones, aren't they?
How about a winger? What winger do you want?
Anthony Gordon or Nico Williams?
Anthony Gordon. Oh, there you go. There's a name.
Yeah, I like Anthony Gordon. I think he's got a lot.
He's very fast, but
very fast.
He's like Martinelli. I think he can be very hit and miss.
I think he's got a bit more end product than Martinelli.
I want Rodrigo.
What about Leo?
Who?
Again, he's the same name. I think he's very hit and miss.
I want Rodrigo.
I'd like Matoma.
He didn't get played.
Yeah, Matoma for me. If I could choose anybody on the left, I'd probably go for him.
Who's that?
Matoma.
Yeah, he's quality. He's
quite
old though, isn't he? I didn't realise how old he's. About 28. Which is not old, obviously, but
he's fallen off a bit though, isn't he? Good player, but fallen off.
The reason I say Rodrigo, like Rodrigo's not getting any minutes at all for Madrid. I don't think he played against Barca. But I think like
he's going to cost about 80-90 million though.
Yeah, just swap deal with Martinelli.
I can't see it either. Like that, who was that Dortmund lad we got linked with? That's all gone very quiet again.
Gittins, he's English, isn't he?
I think realistically, when I look at the left wing, I either look at Nico Williams still, or I know there's talk about that Gittins as well, weren't there? I just Anthony Gordon ain't going to happen.
What about Sane?
No,
I'm not in for that. I'm not in for that.
I'm not. I wouldn't mind Rafinha, but that's not.
That's not going to happen either. No chance.
I'm not in for that. I don't know. It's a weird one. The left wing situation, is it? Because actually, we've got, if we're going to get someone in here, it has to be an upgrade of Martinelli. There's no point getting someone in level sided with him. And that Gittins is not. Let's be honest, he's 19 still. So that'd be all right signing, but that ain't a signing that's going to be a level raiser at the moment. It needs to be a level raiser to bring that position in. And probably Nico Williams is the one that stands out for me.
I'd only be bringing Gittins or Semenyo in, like, for example, if you're going to replace them, like if you're replacing Trossard for them.
I like Semenyo. I think he's a good player.
But I just think you still need that top winger.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Who that is, I'm not sure, but...
No one's mentioned Breno at Brentford.
No.
Yeah, he's decent.
He'll go. I mean, I don't know if there was an interview with one of the Brentford players. Christian Norgard, something like that. And he said he's definitely going. I mean, so...
He plays more right side, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'd be more...
generally.
Okay.
Yeah, we need we need proper upgrades, don't we? We don't need no more squad players. We need, like, when you talk about the striker, the left winger, with the Subamendi deal that's coming in, and with the left-sided midfielder potentially, they have to be upgrades. They have to be the next level now. Arteta can't afford to bring a player in and go, do you know what, compete with Martinelli. He has to buy that player now because he's only got, like, let's be honest, if next season there'll be a lot of noise if we're not winning trophies. So
enough noise coming out of Neville's club yesterday.
Well, and that's the thing. They manipulate they manipulate everyone as well, right? Because they got their agendas. They're Man United, Liverpool, right? They see Arsenal as a threat. They know deep down there, right? If Arsenal go and buy a striker and a left winger, they know who's going to be the best team in the league. So this put a lot of noise in there to try and manipulate it all, to stop players thinking about, should I join that club and that kind. It's all like agendas, isn't it? They all know what they're doing as such. Do you know what I mean? But we just need to keep the noise out. Who cares what Carragher or Neville thinks? You know what I mean? All I care about is what Berta does in the summer. That's all I care about. I don't care about what anyone else thinks no more. I just care about what Berta does in the summer. And we have to buy the players that we didn't buy last year. And if we buy the players that we needed positions, we're going to win. We're going to win trophies next year. I know that's a bold statement, but
it's true.
You get to a Champions League semi-final with a squad that's absolutely depleted with injuries. And go and beat Real Madrid 5-1. What do you do if you've got a Nico Williams and a Gorkores and a Subamendi and a left midfielder? Do you know what I mean? It's a totally different ball game. And if you keep Gabriel and Saliba fit, and you keep Timber fit, and you keep Skelly fit, and you've got Raya and Garcia competing it for each other, whoever's going to play in goal. Do you know what I mean? I don't see anyone being better than us in the Premier League. I really don't.
That's what annoys me about the Ranieri chat. Like, I think a lot of people are missing out. Like, he's played over 18 games this season, and he has had injury problems this season. So I think people got to realise that he's only young. Like, so he will. Like, everyone's saying, "Oh, but Arteta hates him." I'm sure he don't. Like, sure he don't think, "Oh, I don't like the look at you." Like, not playing you. Like, but
I mean, surely he'll play on Sunday.
Yeah, like there's a high chance he does because, like, for the under, he used to play number 9 for the academy. So. There's nothing. I don't think he'll play 9. I think they'll play Martinelli there and then probably put Saka on the left and Ranieri right. But
Martinelli was good up front second half yesterday. I hear it, but he did look good. He was making all the.
We've been saying it for years, though, haven't we, Liam? To be honest,
yeah.
Do you think though, right? This is just something that I thought about, right? With one area. Do you think with Max Downing coming in behind him? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we're talking about Max Downing coming in and like he's going to get into the first team squad next year, right? Like, it's going to be. It's going to like don't get me wrong. He's only 16, so we can't expect too much. But it's going to be hard, isn't it, to kind of blood these two guys in like together. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an I think it'd be an interesting situation.
I think they're going to blood Ranieri in for an Odegaard, like protege sort of thing, like as.
They could put him on
loan. They'll rotate Ranieri.
He could go out like if Arteta thinks right next year that, do you know what, I'm not sure if he's going to get enough. He could go out on loan next year. Like, we don't know, do we? That might be a suitable option for him. But
like what they've done with
coming in right behind him, and it reminds me a little bit like the Saka Nelson situation. I know that like one area is a totally different level to Nelson, but I think it'd be an interesting how he kind of invested in them two and where he looked to play them.
If they put him on loan, it could be like like what Jack Wilshere done. Didn't he go to, was it Bolton or somewhere?
Yeah, he could go somewhere.
Yeah, but then like get those minutes and then like they come back the next season completely like ready for the first
team. Do you know what I mean? It would have to be a Premier League club.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? Like, could there be a consideration if we did go for someone like Eze that we'd offer Crystal Palace one area on loan for the season? Do you know what I mean?
No, that could be a sweetener. Yes, no, that is. And obviously, we've still got players like Reece Nelson.
Don't forget Nuno Tavares.
Yep, Vieira. So, they could all be used as make weights for someone. Oh,
yeah.
I actually think one area loaning out makes a lot of sense. Potentially, it could make a lot of sense.
Depending
on he's only what is he 18, 19?
Yeah, he's 18.
So I mean, he's like
only 18. Yeah.
Like when people say, "Oh, well, he ain't got a future at the club because Arteta won't play him," I've never heard so much shit in my life.
It's like Saliba, weren't it? Everyone said the same about Saliba, mate. Everyone said the same about Saliba.
And then look how young he was when we sent him out on loan. It was similar age, wasn't it?
You don't have many centre-backs play at 22, 23 years of age anyway in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? It's a position that's
just even in the world, mate. Like you look at, and then the longevity. So look at what's the Man United one they bought from Bayern Munich? Dutch one is De Ligt. Yeah, like
Clinic.
he started when he was really, really young. But look at him now. What is he, 20?
No,
Yeah, he's
about-
just in. Yeah. Well, he's at Man United, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Ranieri thing on loan's quite good. Well, I think what pisses me off more, they keep comparing him and Lewis Skelly, and I just think it's completely, it's just
Yeah,
not, it's irrelevant.
They're different players.
You got to remember, it's a big risk for Arteta to play two 18-year-olds in a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's very reluctant to do it, and I can understand why he's quite reluctant to do it as well. He did it at Wolves because he had to do it at Wolves, and then Skelly gets sent off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot to rely on two 18-year-olds to play.
And when he got a good bit of run of games,
title.
Liam, he got injured as well, like when Ranieri.
Mate, more and more I think about Ranieri next year. I can't see him breaking into the team next year. So actually, a really good loan move out to a Premier League club for me could actually make a lot of sense. But we have to choose the right club for him.
Something like Fulham, maybe. But if
I'm looking at Palace, mate. I'm looking at Palace.
Palace or Brighton.
Like that, Glasner's a top manager, mate. Like Bayern Munich, we're looking at Glasner. He's a top manager. Look what he's doing at Crystal Palace, right? He's getting the best out of Eze. Mate, I trust him. It's not like you're sending Serge Gnabry to Tony Pulis, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Who done that?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys, don't know what you think about that, Andy.
About the which bit?
The one area loaning going.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not sure he'll go. Personally, I don't think he'll go to somewhere in the Premier League. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes to Spain. And they'll move him carefully into one of the clubs out there that plays similar systems to ours, and blood him out there. Because ultimately, it'd be phenomenal for him to go and get that experience. Saliba had 2 years on loan at two different clubs, and look at the player we got back from that.
Yeah,
and then not forgetting the kid's only 18-year-old, so he's got time and opportunity to go and play more first team games at a good level than maybe in France or Spain, and we get an absolute gem back.
To be fair, France could be another option, couldn't it?
Yeah, and as they'll do, they'll look at the different teams that are out there, the ones that maybe want him, and they'll look at the systems they'll look at the areas that one area needs to develop and make sure that he goes to the right club with the right coaching staff, and hopefully we can get an absolute gem at the back of that.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think it's getting 10-10 now, so I think we should kind of wrap up. But obviously, as we always do, get your score predictions for Sunday. I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to this game whatsoever. Just think with the amount of injuries we've got, it's going to be a hard ask. This Newcastle team's a really good team, but we just need a point. We just need a point, and I'll take a point. I'm going to be honest, I'll take a point Sunday. Obviously, I love a win, but I'm going to go 1-1. I think both teams. I think it ain't going to be an easy game for us whatsoever. But a draw keeps them behind us. And actually, if Man City win their game in hand, they'll go joint points with us, but their goal difference is inferior. So as long as we go and beat Southampton, then we get that should be the second spot.
Yeah.
George, what are you going to go for?
I agree with the Man City thing. They've got Bournemouth as well. So I think that could go either way, couldn't it? Really. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. I think they might come out really fast. I think after seeing how angry Arteta was after the game, I think that might be like a rocket up their arse. Who scores? I don't have a clue, mate. Like it might be a diving header from you in block 8 or something.
No, Neto's playing. Neto's up front.
But the problem we've got with Neto is like we could just swap them. Say, oh well, sorry, we thought this was Roberto, not Pedro. So yeah, 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. I'll go.
Just Catherine in chat. She's gone 3-3 or 3-2 Newcastle. Sadly, with injuries and suspensions. That 3-3. Actually, a 3-3 could easily happen on Sunday. To be fair,
finish me off.
Carl, what are you going to go for, mate?
I think we'll win 2-1.
Good boy.
Yes, Carl.
No, I agree. That's what I'll go with.
Sterling winner.
Andy? Always
I was going to say 2-1 as well, completely. I just think, as like what George said, I think on the back of Arteta's feelings after the Liverpool match, I'd expect to see some sort of reaction on Sunday, and we owe these one as well.
Yeah.
They've done us over a few times this season, and we owe
And we'll
these
be
one.
there, Liam. So
We owe them one, and we need to stand. These are the games when the players have to stand up and be counted, because
definitely.
we know what Newcastle are going to do. They're going to be in our faces. If Joe Linton plays, he'll be bullying people. Grimaris,
I think he's still
Bruno
injured.
Grimaris, is he?
He's out.
He'll be doing it.
Good.
You know, Isaac will all of a sudden become 400 times the player he's been the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we need to make sure that we match them right across the board. And like I say, we owe them one. So a 2-1 win would be beautiful.
Nick Pope would be time wasting in the second minute.
Yeah.
They'll do it in the warm up.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is who's playing up front on Sunday. Don't know if Trossard's not fit. I think that would be the interesting.
Yeah.
Who do you think they'll go with, Liam?
I honestly don't know, mate. Like you would have thought Martinelli would be the obvious choice, but then it's like who plays on the left.
You could bring
They move
Waneri in.
Saka
Saka might have to move sides and bring Waneri in, possibly.
Yeah.
Either that or fucking Sterling.
But actually, guys, Martinelli scored an header the other day, didn't he? Like that's the thing with
That's a good
Martinelli.
goal, isn't it? Yeah.
By the way, like when he first come through, he was scoring things like headers, weren't he? He was doing all that kind of stuff. So, do you know what I mean? Like maybe it is worth seeing him what he does up top on
Might see
Sunday.
Kieran Tierney on the left wing again.
Well, you see some of the runs that Martinelli made yesterday when there was a couple in particular where he bent runs in, and
Very intelligent.
if we'd have just took the risk and played the pass, he's clean through.
Yeah.
And once he's clean through, you're never catching him.
No,
And he did say before, like, or years ago, like he used to play there, or he wanted to play there, like through the middle. I think we saw him in that Emirates Cup game, around the Emirates Cup game time. I can't remember what year that was, but my thing is, what's the worst that can happen?
No, Spurs are not playing Newcastle Sunday, Scotty. Just to put it out there.
But you will lose to Villa on Friday.
Or was it Tottenham Villa Friday, is it?
Yeah, they moved their games, didn't they, to Friday night?
Yes, because they can't. They get
Chelsea,
tired.
Man United, and Villa against Spurs.
That's fair enough. It's cup final, isn't it? You can understand it, though.
Who cares?
Bless them.
Exactly.
Get tired, don't they? Bless them.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed we get the job done for Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Get the job done Sunday. Second spot is pretty much ours, and then we can then go into Southampton a little bit more relaxed. Last game of the season. Hopefully pick up a nice win there. And then we can go off for our jollies, enjoy our summer, watch what Berta's got to do, and enjoy some
checking our Twitter.
Well, mate, just keep off Twitter, mate. It's going to be a mess in the summer.
I just checked the group. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But do you know what? It is what it is, and it looks like Berta is going to do early business, so fingers crossed he does that.
Fingers crossed, indeed.
You watch, we'll go into the season with just Zubomendi.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot of times before.
Jesus and Havertz all of that. They'll be like new signings.
We'll get Raheem Sterling again on transfer deadline day.
It'll be Vardy on deadline day.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, cheers, chaps, for tonight. Some really good debate. It's been a bit of a tough week, but obviously the boys did come through in the second half and got us a really good draw at Liverpool. So, as Cole said, it keeps our top 6 record going into the new season, and hopefully with the transfers and Berta doing what he needs to do, we'll be in a much stronger position next season. Obviously, thank you to everyone in the chat. Obviously, been some really good debates, some really good kind of talk. We appreciate you coming on and kind of supporting with the channel. So, we go on to Sunday. 3 points is a must. Come on, the Arsenal. Good night.